士们、先生们，大家下午好！欢迎出席北京市人民政府新闻办的新闻发布会。北京是一座历史悠久的文化名城和充满活力的国际化大都市，常住人口超过2100万。面对城市治理难题，2019年以来，北京创新开展接速即办改革，对市民诉求快速响应，高效办理，探索形成以市民诉求驱动超大城市现代化治理之路，为共同研讨城市治理现代化方向和路径，我们即将举办2024北京接速即办改革论坛，届时将邀请全球理论界和实践界代表开展交流互鉴。为让大家更好了解论坛的筹备情况和亮点工作，今天的新闻发布会专门邀请相关单位主要负责同志做介绍，并回答各位记者关心的问题。首先，我介绍出席今天发布会的发布人，他们是
person who attending the press conference. So we have a deputy from the Beijing Municipal Government Service and the Data Management Bureau, Mr. Shen Binghua. And also, we have a deputy from the Institute of Political Science of CAS, Mr. Zhang Shuhua. And also, we have a party secretary from Beijing office of CMG, Madame Wang Xiaojie, to attend the press conference. First, I would like to give the floor to Mr. Shen Binghua from the Service and the Data Management Bureau to give us an update on the preparation of the 2024 Beijing Forum on swift response to public complaints. Friends from the media, good afternoon. Welcome to the press conference on the 2024 Beijing Forum on SRPC. By taking this opportunity, I would like to, on behalf of the committee, to express our gratitude to your support for Beijing's efforts on the swift response to public complaints. City is an important carrier of the urban development and governance. We have to put people as our priority. We have to build a city to serve the people. We have to put people's requirements and needs as our top priority in order to develop the city. So we have to explore a path of Chinese characteristics for urban governance. And all of these are requirements from the General Secretary of China. And his words has also pointed out our direction for future development. Since 2019, we have stayed committed to Xi Jinping's thought on socialism with Chinese characteristics for the new era, and also put the people as our center. We have explored a new way of urban governance based on the service hotline 12345, and also we have initiated a number of reform measures for the urban governance. We have to make sure that by using this service hotline, we can help to boost the urban development. The General Secretary has fully acknowledged our efforts. We will continue to follow this path on the urban governance. Right now, we are still seeing the urbanization in the world, and also we are facing a lot of new challenges. And in order to better help the people understand the swift response to public complaints, and also to improve the urban governance, this year, from December 18th to 19th, we are going to hold the 2024 Beijing Forum on Swift Response to Public Complaints. And this forum is sponsored by the Chinese Academy of Social Science, China Media Group, CPC, Beijing Municipal Committee, and the local government. We have several features of this forum. First, we have a very specific theme for this year's forum. The permanent theme is People's City and the Better Future. And this year, the forum is Modernizing for People-Centered Urban Governance. we will focus on the themes, and also we have six sub-forums. That is the new chapter, the urban governance and the Chinese modernization, the new quality, the digital era, and the urban governance innovation, new model, the precision governance and the new patterns of civilization, the common aspiration that is focused on the public service and public participation, common direction, the service hotline and responsive government. The last one is common goal that is focused on the urban development and the regional coordinated governance. All of these topics have played a key role on the swiftest response to public complaints and the reform. And this also responds to the hotspot issues in the society. And also, we have very high value in discussing all of these topics. Second, and we have a huge amount of people attending this forum, and we have different countries and also scholars from different parts of the world and different disciplines to attend the forum. This shows that a common consensus made between these sectors and the disciplines. It is expected that we have over 3,000 people attending this forum, covering over 40 countries and 160 scholars. And some of them are formal heads of states and also secretary or general assistant secretary from the UN, and also we have representatives from the UNESCO and some subsidiaries of the UN, and also we have ambassadors from different countries to attend this forum. For example, from Turkey and from Spain, and also we have delegates from UK, Ireland, and also some well-known universities to attend the Beijing Forum. And also we have deputies from Norway, Germany, South Korea, South Africa, and we have scholars coming from these well-known institutes coming to Beijing to attend the forum. And in China, we have academicians from Shanghai, Tianjin, Shenzhen, Hangzhou, and some of the first-tier cities to come to the Beijing Forum on the SRPC. And also, we will have some representative of enterprises attending the forum. Third, we have several highlights from this forum. We have the opening ceremony, and also we have 6 parallel forums, and also some sideline events. And also we have the closing ceremony. In the morning of December the 18th, we have the main forum and also the opening ceremony. We will invite some of the experts to attend the ceremony and also deliver a keynote speech. In the afternoon of the 18th and the morning of the 19th, we have 6 parallel forums. And by then, we will invite the experts to try to experience the service hotline 12345 to understand the significance of the service line. And also we will invite the experts and the scholars to visit Beijing to feel the civilization and also to feel the achievements of the science-tech achievements. And also we have set up a LED big screen to show the reform of the swift response to public complaints. And also we will show some of the grassroots stories in Beijing to show the achievements. In the afternoon of the 19th of December, we will have the closing ceremony. For example, we also have the foreigners to come to this section to talk about their stories. And in the afternoon, we will also we have a youth roundtable event. And also, we will release the Beijing Declaration for the urban governance. And fourth, we will have more achievements to be released. And for this forum, we will focus on the academic areas, and also we will release the themes and some of the essays, both in Chinese and English. And also we will produce the assessment report. And for example, we will pick over 20 countries for assessment for the service level. And it is the first time in the world to show the achievements made by the swift response to public complaints. And also we will pick some indicators to understand the service level to evaluate the efficiency of the urban governance. And also, it is the first time we will try to share our experiences and summarize some of the lessons we learned from the service hotline. And for this time, the forum is faced different countries, including China and the other parts of the world. And also, we will highlight 20 models and examples and share some of the good practices on the SPRC and to show the diversity of the urban governance. And during these 2 days, we will continue to have a lot of discussions, hopefully, in the world, and people can form the 2024 Beijing Declaration on the urban governance so as to make our contribution to build a community with a shared future for the urban governance in the world. And also, we have some partners from other countries. They will also organize some sideline events. 7 days later, we are about to kick off this forum. Everything is ready. We are looking forward to meet our friends at home and abroad in Beijing. And also, I hope a success convening of the Beijing Forum on the swift response to public complaints. And at this time, I also want to thank the press to give a live coverage to this event and also to tell a good story of China and also to tell a good story of Beijing and also a story of modernization and the urban governance. Thank you. Thank you for Mr. Shen Binghua's introduction. Now I would like to invite the deputy from the Institute of Political Science of CAS, Mr. Zhang Shuhua, to give us some introduction.
Friends from the press, good afternoon. The development of Beijing has a big, important significance in terms of the national governance, and it is important for us to answer to the call for a better life of the city residents, and also it is of great value and global reference. So Beijing as a mega city and the capital of China is also a shining example of the world in terms of municipal governance. So we face a lot of difficult questions such as why do we govern and how do we govern and who is to govern. So Beijing has always adhered to the principle of people-centered and has launched this reform on swift response to public complaints and has provided very rich experience in theory and practices. So with the joint effort of all parties and departments, we have accumulated a lot of experiences and research results concerning the swift response mechanism. Now, please allow me to introduce some of the research results that is about to launch during this international forum. Currently, we have the following theoretical study outputs in both Chinese and English. The Chinese literature includes 9 papers, including the study on Fengqiao experience and the successful experiences of swift response mechanism. These outcomes are jointly reviewed by CASS, Peking University, the Tsinghua University, and among others, university, as well as the Parties Academy of Beijing. So altogether, there are 9 institutions of higher learning that are involved in the selection and launching of this project. So the research topic include, as I mentioned, the Fengqiao experience and people's supervision of the work of the government and the development of digital and artificial intelligence technologies and so on. This has contributed to the reform and development of swift response mechanism. So it's a multi-dimensional and perspective research. In terms of English literature, there are 11 papers focusing on the innovative practices of swift responses, take small perspective, then combine the local practice with the international norms. And it's important and our responsibility to tell the story of Beijing governance to the world. Most of the researchers from CESS, Peking University, Tsinghua University, Beijing Renmin University, and the Capital Economic and Trade College and so on. So altogether, researchers from 9 institutes participated in the studies. Their research area include the smart city and city governance and the urban governance and so on, introducing Beijing's experience in swift response to public complaints. So that's all for my introduction today. Thank you. Now let's give the floor to Ms. Wang Xiaojie from CMG to tell us more about the experiences from Beijing office of CMG and also the documentary that is produced by CMG. Dear guests and friends from the media, good afternoon. CMG, as one of the co-founders of this forum, will be using its massive capacity as a public as a publicity organ, and also we will strive for the result of telling the stories of Beijing governance. So we have a wide coverage with a vast selection of programs, and we have set up 192 stations across the country, and we also have CGTN, which will be a main platform for the global publicity of this forum. So we have 6 channels and 144 broadcasting channels and 1 news agency and a new media platform. So it is broadcasting 24 hours on a daily basis. So during this forum, and multilingual reporters will be sent all across the places to tell the stories and innovative practices for urban governance, contributing Chinese wisdom to global governance experience. So the CMG and CGTN will continue to cover the hot topics of this forum and feedbacks of guests from home and abroad. We will also have special programs of dialogues and different roundtable meetings during this forum. And CMG will also be working with our overseas partners to broadcast some of the major outcomes of this forum. I'd like to tell you more about the documentary produced by CMG. So our film company has compiled a lot of resources and materials and has produced this film, Your Voice, of 90 minutes to document some of the best practices and experiences of swift response to public complaints reform based on real stories, real cases. So this hotline has become an important leverage to initiate this major reform on city and urban governance and showcasing the city's governance a people-centered concept. So we are striving to make 4 breakthroughs. First is the convergence of emotion with rationales. So we have a lot of details in the films, and so as to initiate or call for emotional responses and echoes from the audience, from the spectators. Second, we will combine the filmmaking techniques with documentary techniques. So it is based on real cases. We have done a lot of research, a lot of we have talked to a lot of personnel and staff members of the hotline. We have selected carefully several stories that are highly representative. And 3, we are striving to find smaller perspective to reflect big picture and concept. The stories need to be very on the ground. They should be based on facts. So this is a very precious attempt. And 4th, we also reflect the true voices of the residents. We have selected some of the recordings of the calls of the hotlines, and we include the real recordings in the documentaries. So you're welcome to come to the cinema and watch the film and find if your voice has been included. And the problems that reflect include different aspects of life. For example, the renovation of the old buildings and transportation and so on. So it's a very full-fledged reflection of different aspects of urban governance. And I think it's a very comprehensive documentation of many aspects of the city residents' life and also different aspects of the urban governance. And they will be shown in the cinema after the Spring Festival. Thank you, Ms. Wang. Now, the floor is open to questions.
I'll speak English, if that's okay. My name is Steve Hatherley. I'm with CGTN. Thank you very much for the opportunity to ask the question. I'm from Nova Scotia in Canada, very far away from here. And as is the case in many, if not every country around the world, Canadian citizens living in their cities, they deal with issues in their daily lives. And oftentimes these issues, well, they want them to be solved quickly, but they tend to drag on with no immediate solution. You mentioned your issue of the month mechanism, which seems to me to be quite a useful tool, particularly when we think about city governance. I was wondering if you could give us some perhaps examples of how well that's worked and what you plan to do with that mechanism in the future. Thank you.
您好，我是来自央视的记者。
I will refer this question to Mr. Shen. From 2021, on a yearly basis, we will do this big data analysis and to discover the most urgent, the most popular problem that's being reflected by the residents, and we will issue measures to address these pain points in a timely manner. So this is a monthly proposal, a monthly activity, and this is actually a proactive governance method that we've adopted. First, we need to focus on the most urgent and popular issues. So this kind of monthly proposal is driven by the complaints, but it's an proactive measures adopted by the government. In the past 4 years, more than 60 issues have been proposed, and a lot of the pain points have been addressed through this monthly proposal. And second, we need to focus on the symptoms as well as the causes of the disease. We need to not only address the one problem by one type of problems, we need to address the problem from the source, from the root that it occurs. So there are a lot of governments and more than a lot of documents, more than 400 documents have been promulgated. And 3, we need to form this very long-standing governing mechanism. So a lot of monthly proposal are arising because of the unclear division of work at the government bodies. So we will be specifying the duty list for the government organs so as to make it more, make it clearer and more specific. Fourth, we will also be putting forward this very diverse way of governance. And so this platform not only identify the leading organization, institution, but also the supporting institutions, and also the residents, the businesses are all part of the solution. So it's a joint governance mechanism. So this monthly proposal mechanism has become a key aspect of work that we need to do on a daily, routinely basis from 2021. This year, we have identified the employment issue, the quality of residential building, the streamlining of the medical services, and also the construction of e-charging station, among other issues. So altogether, there are 13 issues that have been proposed this year, and coming up, we will continue to discover and to investigate on the source and roots of these problems so as to be more proactive and more accurate in terms of urban governance.
Thank you. Next question, please. With People's Daily. And just now, Mr. Zhang Shuhua has mentioned that for this time, we will release a number of research results. Can you tell us more about the research results, especially on the research done on the swift response mechanism in Beijing? Thank you for your question. General Secretary Xi Jinping has emphasized the importance of exploring a new path for urban governance for mega city. And he has pointed out a number of important instructions to build a capital city. And all of these are the basis for us to conduct the research on the swift response to public complaints in Beijing. So for the reform on the swift response mechanism in Beijing has helped us to address some of the issues in building China into a modernized nation. And also it helped us to boost the Chinese modernization. Beijing has provided a number of different scenarios and resources. In the past few years, when we are doing the theoretical research and the mechanism, we have done the following work. First, for different parties, we have focused on different aspects for the swift response mechanism. Start from 2024, for the Chinese Academy of Science has established special task force to study on the swift response mechanism, and also we organized a research team in the universities to continue the research. And also for the party school in Beijing, the party committee also play a leading role to have more experts to participate in the research. Second, for different parties, we have continued our efforts to deepen the reform on the swift response mechanism. For different task force, we have across different disciplines. And for the first round of research, we have compiled some of the documents to state some of the achievements and experience on the swift response to public complaints. And some of the documents have been released previously. This has pushed the swift response mechanism to a new height. And also for the Chinese Academy of the Social Science has focused on the reform on the swift response mechanism. This also lead to a people-centered urban governance. They have also come up with the new report that is themed with the People's City, Better Future. And they have summarized the existing scenarios and also come up with a lot of conclusions. Third, we will continue to deepen the reform on the swift response mechanism and to address the people's concerns. And recently, we have worked with the Beijing Municipal Government Service and the Data Management Bureau, and also work with the Institute of the Political Science of the CAS. We will continue our efforts on studying the swift response mechanism. Under the new era and under the new context, we have built the new platform for the urban governance in the new era. We aim to release more theoretic achievements and papers on the urban governance. We believe with joint efforts and together with the public participation, we will continue to make more contribution on the reform on the swift response to public complaints in Beijing, and also to advance the modernizing for people-centered urban governance. And we are confident that we will release more achievements in the future. Thank you. Thank you very much. Next question, please. Thank you. With Hong Kong media, so in the past 5 or 6 years, and Beijing has gained a lot of experiences on the swift response to public complaints, and also it set up a lot of the examples for modernizing for people-centered urban governance. My question is to Ms. Wang. So, except for the documentary, what other aspects that will be released by the CMG? Thank you for your question. For CMG, this time, as I just mentioned, we will release one documentary, and also we will use all platform resources. For example, for the CGTN, we will also launch a new documentary, the Hotline Beijing. So that is one of the example. And also today, I have brought a short video. Please take a look.
What makes a city your city? 见过这些吧？这是特色的东西。
我基本上天天来跳交谊舞。
我们是这个城市的主人，这个城市是我的家。我们是这个城市的主人，这个城市是我的家。
What's standing in your way?
残障人也想去像普通人一样生活。
一个小老人照顾老人特别难。
一个人过来的，人生地不熟，什么都不懂。
帮我找妈妈，天天在那儿唱。
有好多猫很老叫，还有残疾人，跟我们骑手不会，就有点歧视我们。
Construction allowed on the weekend.
Has your city got your back? Beijing is a vast city, home to you and 21 million others. But still, your voice will be heard. In 2019, Beijing adopted a major governance reform that would reshape its future.
一条热线撬动扩大城市治理的难题。
It's reform that affects everyone.
它是要解决人民普遍关心的实际问题。
都去院里了啊！
什么叫接受羁绊？马上就要平办了。
It's reform that provides Chinese wisdom for urban governance globally.
它能够通过大量的市民诉求数据的分析和挖掘，形成精准的、科学的决策。
It's reform that's unprecedented.
有的时候讲这是费力不讨好，这是需要政治勇气和政治意志的。
一年已经装满4、5代了。
From trivial to societal issues, it's reform for the people.
永远在路上的一个过程，翻过一座山，又来了一座山。
Rescuing a stray cat.
以前是不可想象的，说能摸到它。
Rejecting an unfair demand.
感觉就是一个靠山一样。
Making a space for everyone to dance.
科技就应该这样的服人。
Creating a safe place for the elderly.
书记说我不是救名人。
Supporting every dream, no matter how small.
我就是这个城市的一份子。
12345 Hotline Beijing, creating a brighter future for you and your city.
好，请问您需要什么帮助？我特别感谢。
通过你们的1、2、3、4、5，我确确实实，我感觉到你们确确实实为人民服务。
Seeing this video, Hotline Beijing. So that is a promo for this documentary, and this also faces the overseas audience. And I talk about the stories coming from the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and telling the stories in China and in Beijing. And so for this documentary, it has talked about the urban governance in Beijing and the modernization path. So there are several features. First of all, for these stories, they are quite trivial. We are actually focusing on our local citizens, and also we are trying to build a consensus with the overseas audience. So we are capture the stories in our day-to-day life, and also tell very touching stories and ordinary people. And the second, so we have the theme cover many aspects. So for the shooting team, they actually take about like half a year to produce this video, and also they have made interviews with a great number of Beijing residents, and we are capturing the global perspective, and this is like 10 typical stories. And third, we have used cutting-edge technology to make this video, and this is quite scientific. And also we are using the animations and music to make this video vivid, and also to demonstrate some of the figures and achievements that we have been made in the past 6 years to show Beijing's efforts in the swift response to the public complaints. And also it shows the Chinese value to the world in a video. So for this documentary, it lasts about 60 minutes. So from December the 14th, will be available on 6 CGTN channels. And at the same time, the CMG will also have more sidelight events. For example, we have special sections in different channels. And to give a more coverage on the Beijing Forum, we look forward for all of you to stay tuned for this forum. Thank you very much. Next question, please. With Beijing Daily, we all know that for the reform for Beijing, a swift response mechanism has been taking place for 6 years. Can you tell us more about the progress that has been made for the reform and what will be some of the next steps? Thank you. So now I would like to give the floor to Mr. Shen Binghua to answer your question. Thank you for your question. As you just mentioned, for the swift response reform has already gone past 6 years. For the swift response to public complaints, has given new significance to the service hotline. So for the hotline has also helped to advance the development and the modernizing of the urban governance. I would like to highlight a few points. First of all, we have focused on the grassroots stories and the concerns. And also we can see that with the party leadership, for the different township and sub-district offices and the governments, they have taken a coordinated role and work together with the general public on the urban governance. So we could see that we have formed a strong synergy for the sub-district office and the township government. And the second, we have effectively addressed the concerns from the local citizens. For the swift response mechanism has helped to promote the supply side reform. So we have helped to properly allocate the resources in the public. In the past 6 years, we have received over 150 million cases. And also we are seeing that the satisfaction rate has been increased from 65% to 97%, and also the response rate has also increased to over 97%. And this also shows the satisfaction level has been improved in Beijing. And also we are working to address the bottleneck to our residents' concerns. We have taken proactive actions and also to work to the grassroots to look into their public complaints. So for the request from the residents, they have become the internal growth to help us to improve the urban governance in Beijing. On one hand, we resolve some of their day-to-day problems, and also we are also trying our best to resolve some of the issues of the urban governance. Right now, you could see that for the party members and also members at different levels, they are also working down to the grassroots and go to the communities to find out the concerns of our people. This will also help us to shorten the distance between the government and the grassroots residents. And this will help us to improve the modernization in China. And fifth, we also shows the Chinese style of democracy. So for the swift response mechanism enables the citizens become the initiated for urban governance, and also they are also the participants for the urban governance. And also they are the supervisor for our swift response mechanism.
So this whole process, people's democracy, has been integrated into governance. I believe that the above-mentioned 5 aspects are our outcomes and achievements, and coming forward, we will continue to deepen our reform. We will strengthen 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 platform as an important place for the coordination to answer to the people's residents' complaints. Thank you.